This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today we continue on our quest to be the one in best of one. With a little bit of try-harding and a decklist courtesy of the Red Bull Untapped tournament that had over 1,200 players over the weekend. This deck was played by Eric Ausiel. Cringe alert, American pronouncing last names. So, this is Temur Flash. This is Simic Flash splashing red to get rid of those pesky little creatures that consistently pop up when you're on ladder. So I thought it might also be an interesting adaptation for a ladder deck. And one thing, we're going to have to do a little bit of best of one boarding because there are some cards that I'm really worried about. The deck does have... So here's the thing. The first thing that people are going to look at and say about this is no rewind? I know, they did it on my stream already. You're doing it right now. No rewind? Yeah, the loss of Growth Spiral makes rewind too slow. It's a 4-drop, you guys. 4-drops are expensive. You need more out of your 4-drop than just a counter spell. You can get that for 2 mana if you have an Essence Scatter or a Quench. So, no rewind in the deck. Feels kind of odd after last season, but the key to rewind was always that you could Growth Spiral right into it. Now, you have to play spells on turns 2 and 3. You have to care about the board, and that's asking a lot sometimes. So, looking at the deck, it has a few weak points that we might need to do some best of one boarding for before we play it. The Mystical Disputes are not always dead. They're fine. Like, they could stay on their own, but Aether Gust is a tricky one. With Aether Gust, and with no way to discard it to a Fae of Wishes or to Fairy Master of Time, we're really looking at a card that could be dead in a lot of spots. But I also think it's a pretty key card in the deck. So this is going to be a tough one to trim. And it's going to take some of the interaction out of the deck. But I think that what we have to do is move these Aether Gusts back over to the sideboard. Maybe we can leave one, but we'll watch the video. It'll probably come up at some point. We'll draw this Aether Gust, and we'll be like, crap. The main deck has no life gain, so I think that we're going to put the Uros into the deck or the Krasis. I like both, quite honestly. This is a spell-heavy deck, so Uro coming back isn't that bad, but it's also a Nissa deck, so Krasis can be a big gamer. And I'm not really sure. Maybe we'll just try one of each, because neither one particularly plays with our main strategy of the Flash deck, but both are important for gaining back life when we're just trying to stay alive and getting burned out. Maybe the life gain isn't as important as it used to be without Cat Oven in the format, but something to think about. We also have over here, there's some Scorching Dragonfires that are calling my name, and we have 3s on the Bonecrusher Giant and the Brazen Borrower. I think either one could also be a 4 of, especially for this style of deck. So, with that in mind, I think what I'm going to do is lean into the adventure mechanic. I'm going to keep Uro in the sideboard because the adventure creatures don't go directly to the graveyard. We're going to pull back on Mystical Dispute. We're going to increase the Brazens and the Bone Crushers. And did we make the deck significantly worse? By the way, we also have 26 land, which is pretty sweet. I think that the core of the deck is still intact, and we're only splashing red for 6 cards in Flame Sweep and Bonecrusher Giant, but they're crucial so that we don't lose to the early creature rush, so I like it. As for counter magic, we only have 7, I guess 9 with the Frilled Mystic, I guess 10 with the Epiphany. 10's not terrible. We can definitely have the games where we counter everything. The core of the deck is still very much that Nightpack Ambusher just takes over games. Woof. And its time is numbered. It's about to rotate. So this might, not for sure, but this might be among the last times you see Nightpack Ambusher on the channel. So if you are in the Wolf Pack, give me an ow woo in the comments and let's dive in. Let the Temur Flash nonsense begin. On the draw, 3rd straight game. But we've had Quench every time. It's just been funny. I don't think I've actually quenched anything on turn 2. My opponents keep getting too far ahead of me. They're just a light year ahead by the time I can cast a spell. That's a good draw. Alright, what are we up against? Sultai, perhaps? I think that's a matchup we actually want to be in. Now the question starts becoming, is there a fourth land in our future? Fun, but no. Nice. Keep it coming. Now the opponent's like, my spells might not resolve? This might be harder than I expected. Baby Krasis, sure. Well, they were like, you're not countering this. Well, I'll stomp it. I'm just going to fetch a land now. Oh, that dog. Go to sleep. Uro, of course. I let the first part of Uro resolve most of the time, and then fight the second part. It's usually my code. I'd need a good reason not to. Opponent's gonna get these lands on the battlefield anyway. Alright, now they're gonna sit. Let's get a borrower on the field. Start attacking. Opponent has taken the opportunity to fetch a forest. And there's the eliminate. Down goes the borrower. One punch Fae to the yard. They do have enough to bring Uro back, so I'm guessing we'll see that. The idea is hopefully they flood out and don't draw infinite Krasis. If we can keep them off getting cards off their Uro, not let them miss a resolve, should be able to get ahead in the game. Not using the Fabled Passage till we need it because we do want to draw one more land for the Epiphany. Taking a land out of the deck reduces the chances. Or as some would say, makes it a 100% chance that you'll draw the land. Opponent wants to Uro again, fine. Always another Uro. But they play about 30 lands, so hopefully they just keep drawing those. Again. No thought erasure. You do not get to know what I'm working with. That sixth land is starting to look really good. We've got one more shot here. Cultivate, you got it. So the Krasis was the thing we bone crushed. I doubt they'll have any other good targets. Do I care about that card? Really? All it's gonna do is phase one of my mystics. We'll just bounce it, actually. Pretty good card to bounce. They just get more options if we bounce it now. Like they could discard the Teferi Master of Time if they really wanted to. In case we draw Nissa. Not something I've done today, by the way, but it could happen. What do you think, guys? Do we keep the Sublime Epiphany open? It can counter a large Krasis. And this is a one-turn clock anyway. I think we hold like this. Because I think the opponent might go for a big Krasis and be disappointed. Gust of Mystic. I mean, sure? We don't have the one-turn clock, but I don't think I want to fight for it. I guess we could always Epiphany to copy one of these, so let's resolve that, and I will put that on top pretty gladly. Is the plan Uro? Is that what they're doing? Yeah, they're going for Uro. They'll only have 2 mana left. Alright, Epiph. I draw a card, create a Borrower. I'm not bouncing anything, and we're countering a spell. So. Still 9 damage. Got him. I am guessing a big reason that we play the deck is for the Sultai matchup, so I'm guessing we're favored most of the time. It still feels really hard, and Krasis seems like a big problem. Just something to keep an eye on. So this is our first game on the play. It's also our first game with an Ambusher, and we see a Lurrus, but we have a Flame Sweep, so I think this hand is a keep. Maybe it's time to turn some luck around. Turn 1 Gutter Bones, yep. Let's play the Stomping Ground. Tapped as we don't have anything else to do with it. We're gonna need a 4th land. We are playing 26 of them. I think the chances are decent that we'll get there, but no, we drew both Nisses out of the deck first before drawing that land. Feels bad. I'd also really like another counter, because if our opponent makes a demon, we're in big trouble. And we don't have a counter right now for Call of the Death Dweller. So I actually think we take this and hold. The opponent might just buy the Lurrus and say go, be afraid of counter magic. And I think we just still hold. We're trying to get time to get an Ambusher down and start pulling ahead. I love how I haven't drawn a Nissa yet today, but I draw 2 in a hand with 4 land. I know. Some of you are like, stop whining. I like pointing out weirdness. Especially frustrating weirdness. I think it helps. I think that's part of what keeps us humans. We need to tell people when we see stuff that's like, what the hell is this? Alright, now, if we don't draw a counter, we're in big trouble. We have to sweep this board. But with the Lurrus, we need to draw a counter spell. Village Rites, I'm sure. It's a quench. If the opponent has a land, though, it's no good. But I guess we can counter the Vessel. Maybe they won't play around Quench. If they don't play around Quench, haha. Kroxa? Okay, fine. I got cards to discard, okay? I'm doing good. Nissa, get the hell out. Mire Triton, sure. I mean, I guess they don't have a Call the Death Dweller because they're really slow rolling this Lurrus. They even had the land. They could have played it through a Quench, but they're suspecting Rewind. Would you like to Village Rites your Triton? That's what I thought. 5 mana. Do we get this down? I think we have to. No, we don't have to. It's just a much better turn if we do. But we can't attack. Death Touch. So opponent can play Lurrus, get back a 5/5, but Sublime Epiphany can take care of it. It's the second 5/5 we have to worry about. If they go for a priest, okay, they go for the 5/5. Attack with Triton? No. Alright, cowardly magician located. So bounce this, counter the next thing that they try to get back. That's Sublime Epiphany's job. There are no good attacks.
The land fights for us.
Yeah, they found a lot of land now. Quench is very dead. Did I have a chance to play it earlier? No, they've played around everything pretty stone cold. So we take this, we're trying to line up the Epiphany to do something awesome. It's going to copy an ambusher, then we're going to play another ambusher. The opponent's going to be amazed by the amount of damage. That's the plan. Kroxa? I mean, I can discard Quench, so fine. They're just playing around everything. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I think they're trying to big brain this a bit hard. Okay. So there's a Kroxa trigger on the stack. We can counter this Village Rites. They've already used their Lurrus play for the turn. And we can counter the ability, right? We can do all that. Draw us a card, create a token, return a thingy, counter an activated or triggered ability, and counter a spell. So, target an activated or triggered ability. Each opponent discards a card. Target non-land permanent. Get rid of the 5/5. Do I just have lethal, though? I'm going to have so many wolves. Let's just bounce the Lurrus. Alright, target creature you control, that's you. Target player, that's me. Epic Epiphany, baby. I better have lethal, or I'm dead. Or I am just dead here. Nope. Yeah, you played into Quench now, didn't ya?
Harness the elements.
Testing, is this lethal? Let's find out. Math is for blockers. Oh, woof. Wolf power. Oh yeah, on the play again with plays against Umori. We can counter a Paradise Druid, so maybe our hand isn't trash. I added a Scorching Dragonfire and 2 Aether Gusts. I didn't like the way the Hydroid Krasis stuff was playing. So now I don't have any life gain in the deck, which is scary when you run all the shock lands. But it's worked better so far. Okay. Forget that pelt. Forget all about that Paradise Druid thing. It's Dimir Flash, probably. Dimir Mutate Flash. How exciting. I also cut it back to 2 Brazen Borrowers. Was not enjoying the way the card was looking. It was just coming up too often and I was losing because of it. Let's just get that dead. Back up. Legit. I can bounce it if they go for the pump and then counter it on the way back. So, but hey, sub in the Aether Gusts. Play against a deck where Aether Gust is an official dead card. Like when we draw this, it's not good. It can reset a Frilled Mystic. That's about as good as it gets. Oh my god, they're a toucher. Look at them touching all the land. Heathen. Didn't your mama raise you right? Now that you've felt everything on the battlefield, now that you have literally touched every single card. Okay, you're done. Okay, that's fine. Like, if they're not pumping the knight, I don't think I want to use a borrower on it. They've got some flashy flash thing. Yes, they do. Alright, I'm going to Frilled Mystic it and see if the opponent does something about this Lizard Wizard. Because if it makes it through a turn cycle, Aether Gusting it might actually be a good play. No blocks. Oh, are we in pump mode? Pump mode activated. Sweet. Third Knight of the Ebon Legion. Card can't lose. Card has never lost a game of Magic. How the heck am I gonna get rid of that? The third one? Are you kidding me right now? The third one? Well, how about this? I block, eh? What do you think of that? What do you think of that? How do you like them apples? Yeah, I had a feeling you'd pump it, so we'll bounce it. Are you gonna replay it? Counter it. Literally my worst nightmare card. And we already used one of our Dragonfires, so if it had been a Bonecrusher Giant, Dragonfire would still be a good top deck. Right now, Flame Sweep's a bad top deck. Everything's bad! No! Why am I mana screwed again with this deck? So messed up. So messed up. Okay, double pumps now on the table. Let's make a 2/2 and try to block this Serpent, but I'm sure the opponent has a Pouncing Shore Shark or something to totally victimize me. Make them pump the Knight, but don't let it hit me. Victimized. Absolutely victimized. But still top 100. You can't take that away. On the draw, super slow. Powerful if we get there. If we're against Sultai, it's good. If we're against Mono Red, it's terrible. Mono Green, just as terrible. Quench? Quench is gonna be too slow. By turn 3, like, yeah. We're already gonna be under too much pressure. But if they go for the pump on the Guardian and we bounce it, we're in a much better spot. So, oh, Flame Sweep? Flame Sweep could be really interesting here. Actually, that is a really good draw. Give us a chance. They go for a Stone Coil, that's a Quench. Yeah, that was a good Vice. We kind of had them from every angle with the Borrower, the Flame Sweep, and the Quench. Let's just do this now. They might Questing Beast me, but that's the way it goes. Scoos, good. They were on the play. They can't always curve out 1 through 4 on the play. It's actually pretty hard to do. Let's let them eat some Graveyard, and we might Brazen Borrow this. Probably will. Land. Vivian. It's a 3/3, so a Frilled Mystic here looks really good. Let's slow that beating down. Yeah, let's turn the tables. Let's get Nissa going. Do we Brazen Borrow that Ooze? What if the opponent just plays a Questing Beast? That's not good. Let's just say go. As much as I want to clock the opponent here, I don't want to risk any bad trades. If the opponent pumps a bunch of mana into attacking with the Ooze and we bounce it, that's pretty good. They go for another Arc Bow. Let's not do that. So they can make a 4/4. If they attack face, I can take it. If they attack Nissa, I can take it. I don't have to block with a Mystic here. See if we like do this. Will that encourage them a little bit? You can tell they're thinking like, the race might turn against me. Do our, like, we're going to block here. We're totally going to block. Ah, yes, they do go face. All right, no blocks. Mega Shark Typhoon ready.
Behold nature's true power.
Let's get them. Start putting the pressure on. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. All right, Questing Beast it is. How's it gonna be? 2 attackers. So, let's see, blue. What is that, a 5/5 Typhoon? Could make it a 6 and then still have a Brazen Bounce. So let's do that. Or a 7 in this case. That can eat the Scavenging Ooze. And then we bounce the Questing Beast. The opponent can be at 14, but we have more than enough to cover them. Finally, we get to see Nissa Shark Typhoon team up. We're going to bounce the Questing Beast. I'm just going to let the opponent make a move here. Or not. It's fine too. We were very fortunate. Our opponent missed 1 land drop, and we drew pretty well with the Flame Sweep. So, pretty lucky at points in this game, but good enough to bring it home. Ugh, on the draw. Come on, guys, I just want to be back. I just want to be back in the top 100 so I can get off this deck. You may have caught the vibe. I don't think it's very good for best of 1. I think there's too much variance. I don't think it puts up a good fight, even with a decent draw, against good draws from the opponent. So, I think it's a meta deck for best of 3, and I'm really eager to get away from it in best of 1. But we're up against Yorion. Looks like black-white Yorion. That's an annoying little deck for sure. Let's go ahead and give up the Typhoon. It's a later game play. Let's shock here, say go. Charming Prince. We can just quench it. I really wish I could Flame Sweep these two, but yeah, let's just quench this Prince. Get out of here. This is going to be interesting. We don't have, like, I'm not sure what this matchup is, to be honest. Maybe Protect an Ambusher can help me run away with it. Whoa, okay, that's different. Alright, big moment. Do we draw land? Yes. Tapped, but I'll take it. And another land I'll take. Alright, cool. Flame Sweep is ready to go. And then next turn, Mystic Ambusher, Sabotage the team. We should be okay. Opponent buys their Yorion. Here's the attack. We could sweep now. I think I'll take the damage, though. I'm not feeling under a ton of pressure. I sort of hope my opponent cracks the fetch land and I can sweep in response. Okay, they don't. So what they'll do here is crack their fetch land and sacrifice their ghoul to draw a card. Good value. I have not tried Ghoul in this deck. I'm guessing it goes good with Oath of Kaya, and that's the main reason it's here. I guess Charming Prince too, right? 6 cards to 4. And they're passing. What do you guys think? Do they play Heartless Act? Do they play Mortify? I think we have to go for it. Yes, we untap with the wolf. You love to see it. Kaya's Wrath, played around Mystical Dispute. Let's use the Mystic. Put them under a lot of life total pressure. They do have an Oath of Kaya. They will get back a Ghoul. But it's tapped, and we're at 13. We have some time. Let's shock the breeding pool. We might do a large shark or a combination of these. I think our life total can afford it. Temple of Silence. Come on, I just want the top 100 back. Just want the top hundo back so I can get off this baby. A deck a day has a price sometimes, guys. This is the price. If we sacrifice the Mystic, the opponent blocks here, and we have a shark, they take 7. I think we still counter this. It's just really annoying that they will probably be able to pay for the dispute. However, if we attack next turn, the shark will win us the game even if they have a Wrath. So, yeah, we're gonna go with the Sabotage. Sure. Since they're under pressure, that's probably good enough to help us win the game. Alright, Chump in the Night Pack Ambusher, probably drawing a card. We could flash the Wolf in for 1 more point of damage, but that makes us a lot worse against Kaya's Wrath. What's gonna happen? There's the Kaya's Wrath. And the mana to pay. So it resolves. Let's go for Wolfie. Actually, maybe we should Shark Typhoon instead. What does Shark Typhoon play around? Well, if they have spot removal, it draws us another card and we get a chance to have Dispute and Wolf, but right now Dispute's dead anyway. But yeah, I think it's the Typhoon here. Have something. Yep, there's the spot removal. Eliminate though. Wolf would have gotten around it. Let's see what they do now. Nothing. Okay. Here's Ambusher. Oh my lord. Another Mortify. Here's Borrower. Please, run out of things. Oh no! They're gonna get to Yorion with Oath of Kaya, and we're gonna die! God, I thought we had this game. I thought we had this game. But we're dead. It's so brutal. Mystical Dispute, you suck. Why did I put you back in the deck? I just wanted to try the main deck configuration. I bet we draw the Aether Gust for the full punish. Nissa? Nissa's a card. Nissa takes 2 attacks from Yorion and dies, but then the counter attacks might win the game for us. Gross. Absolutely gross. Absolutely gross.
Forgive me.
Alright. What do we draw? How about another Shark Typhoon? Can we do that? I think playing the Shark Typhoon instead of the Ambusher might have just been the bit, you know? The thing that the whole game fell apart on. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. On the draw, we have removal. Will we have lands? Let's find out. Are you the type who slow rolls a passage? Or are you the type who cracks a passage? You definitely shouldn't be the type who sits here doing frickin' nothing. Come on now. That's just unacceptable. That's just unprofessional. Give him the finger. Give him the your go. Let's make plays. Number 669. Maybe you just think your rank is nice. It's not. You got 600 ranks to go. There's only one. The rope on the passage crack. Come on, go to 0. Go to 0. Do it. Go to 0. Go to 0. And we did it! We did it! Yes! Esports! Who's the greatest? That's right. Roped them out on a Fable Passage crack and they got no land. Their poor internet connection. I have to keep this in the video. It's too funny. It's too much. I've had many things happen. I've had plenty of opponents miss their first whatever, but I've never had one rope out a Fabled Passage crack. This is next level. I mean, come on, play Magic. Drag cards to battlefield. They light up. Doesn't really matter which ones. All right. Let's just hold. I got messed up by that shifting Ceratops earlier, so I might just save these to try to point at the Ceratops in case that's what the opponent's getting up to. Okay, team or nothing so far. Let's give you a Brazen Borrower to think about. Mystical Dispute. Okay. My turn. I'm dropping a wolf on you. Counterspell gamer. Hoo-ha! Can you deal? Can you deal with an ambush? A main phase, sorcery speed, 4 mana, 4/4. Opponent's fetching. Let's see if they get a land this time. My gosh, if I lose this game, or the opponent literally Stone Rain themselves on turn 1. Okay. Alright. Don't see a world where we would need 5 mana, so I think a Triumph's safe, but we can at least wait on that decision, since it's a tapped land anyway. On guard. Have at you. Do you think I want to cycle it? There's definitely a world where I might want to cycle this. I don't think so, though. May I has wolf? Brazen Borrower. Well, they couldn't deal with it in play. Let's fight the Borrower. No? Let's think. What can they do to me? If they play a Nissa and I have an ambusher on the field, I'm in pretty good shape. And I have 2 ambushers. Let's just make them counter stuff on their turn. It's fine. We can wait another turn and play around Quench. Since we don't have that many counters of our own, I think that's smart. Alright, so they go for that, we go for this. They didn't appear to have a Quench, but I think we can just let this be for a turn. Make the opponent think about our open mana. The only thing we're going to do with our open mana, though, is fight the Borrower, so let's fight it. I'm assuming the opponent's on the same deck I am, but, I mean, we don't have much to go on. There's 6 lands, a Brazen Borrower, and a Mystical Dispute. 7 if you count the turn 1 passage for nothing. Okay, they run Ionize. So they are going to try to race me now. What the heck, man? Must be a backup Borrower, right? But this one would tap you out. Alright, end turn. Gain Wolf. Gain Wolf. +1 Wolf. Your turn. See what they do. Well, we'll fight over it now. They countered the last time we tried this. Not this time. +1 Giant. Yeah, let's see. Let's go for the kill. Make the opponent have answers. Okay, yeah, I mean, they're a good sport about it. It wasn't a very good game. I don't know what's going on with their internet or whatever. That sucks. At first it was funny, now it's kind of sad, but you take it. Oh my gosh, can a guy go first? And again with the double Nissa on the draw. It's the second time today. Oh, okay. Sure, deck. At least this hand has removal, so we might live long enough to play her. But this deck is messed up, okay? And mono red? Come on now. Come on now. The algorithm loves mono red, you guys. Just loves it. Make sure it is always getting opponents who are on the draw and mulliganed. That is just a guarantee of life. So, we can't stop the field and we can't gain life. What do? We have to be super aggressive, I guess, and let the opponent have all the cards? I guess so. We also have to draw some counter spells, which I have none of those available. Plus you count Epiphany, 5 and 6 drops on the draw are pretty bad. No life gain? Fine, wasn't part of my plan.
Show us you're alive. The more, the messier.
Face. Okay. So this turn, we want to use a Borrower or a Dragonfire. I think we use the Dragonfire on the Spitter, or we can use it on the Tybalt. The thing is, when Tybalt goes to 1, we can use the Borrower on the token. The next turn we play a Nissa. It's a race. It's not a race we're favored in, that I'm sure of, but it is a race. Nissa can do some busto things, so I think that's our best hope. Yeah, we can't afford to take the damage, so we have to decline, let the opponent have all these cards. We have to pressure them enough that they feel like they have to kill our Bone Crusher Giant, like this. Make them the control deck. Another Spitter, sure. It's fun. We have to shock ourselves to play this Nissa too, unless we draw an untapped land. Jesus. It's so brutal. Alright.
We will not fail. Be wary of the ground you walk on.
See if the opponent has the guts to block with the electrostatic field here. They do. Darn. Chandra's Incinerator, then we bounce it. Had a feeling that was coming. That's a scary card, but wait a minute. We want to make the Scorched Spitter attack first, so we don't use this yet.
Oh, they're so cute.
So Scorched Spitter's ability goes on the stack? Nope. They're not going to do that. Okay. Send that back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we need a little more mana to play the Borrower and copy it with the Epiphany. Copying a land just gives us a land. It doesn't give it the counters or the 0/0-ness. And I need creatures. I need threats.
Rise, my elemental friend.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so we flash in the Borrower. We cast this. Target player draws a card, create a token that's a copy, return target permanent to owner's hand, counter a spell. Target non-land permanent that we return to owner's hand. The field. Target creature we control, the Borrower. Target player, me. Opponent does not attack. We've done our job. We've put them on the defensive. That's the good news. And we're still at 12. I'm actually amazed at how well this is going. And they scoop it up. Wow. I think our alpha posture intimidated them. I think we actually intimidated the burn deck, and they played conservatively, too conservatively. On the draw, Borrower, Borrower, Ambusher, Nissa. It's a really good curve if the opponent isn't on 1, 2, 3 creature. Let's try it. Annoying doggo alert. I feel like I have to say it every time. I love dogs. I hate these dog pets that they invented. They're so obnoxious. They're like next level annoying. Like, do they have quality control at all? I could counter that, but let's borrow it. Let's borrow it instead. It doesn't have an enters the battlefield ability, so it just makes the opponent use their mana again, which is great. Gives us time to assert a battlefield position. Yeah, let's let it resolve. Again, no enters the battlefield ability, it's a good Borrower target. But we don't have to bounce it again right now. It might run into an Ambusher. We'll see what our opponent does. I don't really want to try to Night Pack ambush this unless my opponent has tapped a bunch of mana first. You don't want to play this into a sorcery speed removal spell, and it looks like they're gonna... Yep, they're gonna tap some mana. Do they attack? No, they do not. Okay. Now we have our ambusher. I think if they play a Linden and I bounce it, I'm in really good shape. And we can have a ton of options. So let's play the Nissa and untap the Triome. And we have all these different spells we can use. A double block we can blow up with the Dragonfire. The opponent falls to 8 life. Facing the curve of monsters. Very vicious. Here's a Sorin. Okay.
Strife makes monsters of us all.
Sorin plays tag with Nissa. This grows the Pridemate to a 3/3. Heliod can put a counter on it. I think the opponent's going to try to make a large Pridemate. And then the Brazen Borrower should be good enough. If they go for the Speaker, though, that can be pretty smart, too. It's just, it's not enough to attack with both into the 3/3, right? So they can't really do that. The Life's Bounty, that will turn on the Heliod, right? Did they play a land this turn? I was on the draw and I played 5 lands, so they could still have a land to play, which would give them protection. They should have played it first, but maybe that's a mistake. So let's go for... Let's bounce the Pridemate now. This way the Heliod doesn't turn on.
Let us talk of peace.
Fabled Passage. Lots of mana from Nissa. A Sorin. Opponent at 10 life. So, check for lethal. If we get rid of the lifelinker, they still have a 1/1 lifelink. It can go here. They're at 11. They take 9. Not lethal. So what's the best play? Probably to attack with everything. Probably at the face. We can Scorching Dragonfire the Speaker of the Heavens after we get the Wolf. On the end step. Have to put a marker on it to do it, but it will work. We could take out the Sorin, but the opponent's not going to have much attacking power unless they turn on the Heliod, and we can prevent that, so... Down to 1. Alright, put a counter over there. Just hold. Wait till we get the Wolf. Resolve the ability. Now exile the Speaker. That's game. And we are back for the post-game wrap-up, and in my opinion, Temur Flash is a great example of an excellent 75 and a terrible 60. No matter what tweaks you make to it, it is incredibly hard to get it lined up correctly against Sultai, control, and ramp strategies, but also have it line up good against aggro decks. And the frustrating part is it can be good against both. If you have the configuration with Bone Crusher Giants and Flame Sweeps against aggro, you will probably win. If you draw those cards against a ramp deck or a control deck, you will probably lose. It won't be particularly close. The deck doesn't have card advantage. It can't go late into the game against a ramp or control deck, and because of that, it just gets absolutely drowned. And trying to fix it by adding draw spells isn't going to do it either, because again, the aggro problem. So this is another example of a really cool best of 3 concoction that can attack exactly what you want to attack in the meta, but when it comes to best of 1, it's just not there. It doesn't have the tools. It can't take on the 20% of the meta that is mono red, but then also have a good matchup with Sultai. So, with that in mind, what would I do with this deck? I would go one direction hard or the other. So maybe we'll have to work on like, I think that Izzet Flash is great against the aggro decks. And I think that Simic Flash is good against control and ramp decks. And I think you have to know what you really want to beat. So I would strongly advise you, work on an Izzet Flash for the aggros, work on a Simic Flash for the control. Decide which of those two decks you most want to be effective in destroying, and play that. So that's my advice on how to handle Temur. Trying to mash it together in the middle, I think, will, in the long run, hurt your results pretty badly for best of one. How did the stats turn out on that deck? Let's see really quick. Oh, yeah, that's right. I rage deleted it. Let's call it 50-50. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.